everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about layers. Layers are the tool that AutoCAD uses to organize and manage your objects. One way you can think about layers is consider each one of them like a sheet of tracing paper that objects are drawn on, and you would stack those different papers together to create your whole drawing. Now you can take a sheet out, you could put it back in. That's similar to how we can control layer visibility by turning them on and off. You can add and delete layers in AutoCAD. Once you're out in the working world, different design firms will each have their standard layer conventions. So you'll need to follow those based on how they name their layers, how they organize their layers, etc. The default, and what we've been using up to now, is Layer 0. The Layers panel of the Home tab is a powerful tool for a quick check of what layer you're on and what you're about to draw on. So that's what you see on your screen. It's the Home tab Layers panel. And then you'll use the Layer Properties Manager for more details or to add or delete layers. So here is the icon right for toggling that Layer Properties Manager on and off. Or you can use the command, because there's always more than one way, you can use the command layer, or the shortcut is LA. Once you've got that Layer Properties Management palette open, this is what it looks like. So you've got some controls over here on the top left side to close the box, to auto open and close it, and there are some view settings here in this one that looks like kind of like a sunshine. This button right here is how you get a new layer, and this one with the red X is how you delete a layer. And this one with the green check mark is to set a specific layer as the current layer. And then down here, you're going to see a list of all the layers in your drawing. Right now we're looking at a drawing that only has the default layer 0. And then to the right of that will be all the different properties of that layer. So you can select and change those properties here in this window. Layers have different controls for visibility. They can be turned on and off, and this will go between all of the different viewports and different views, on and off. Thawed and frozen is slightly different than on and off. It's specific to a viewport. Also, if you're dealing with files with extremely high amounts of memory, very, very large files, a frozen layer will make your file run faster. Finally, locked and unlocked. If a layer is locked, you will still be able to see it. It'll be visible, but you can't make any changes. So sometimes that's very, very useful. Here's what those layer visibility controls look like on a Mac. And I just also wanted to add, one of the most common and powerful way to use layers is to group items by their type or function. And the other common way, and often these are combined, you do all of them, is to group items by their line weight. So everything that has, for example, a very thin line weight would be on its specific layer. And everything that had a very thick line weight would be on a separate specific layer for that. So let's switch over to AutoCAD and see where we can find these controls. Here we are in AutoCAD, and I've drawn a couple of example objects for you. What you can see up here at the top of the screen is the Home tab layer panel right here. And so right now we see that this is our current layer. It's showing right here. It's layer 0, and it is unlocked, and it is thawed, and it is turned on. That's what these little symbols here say. If we want to, we can use the pull down and select another layer. Oops, we don't have any in our drawing, so that's not that useful right now. We can also make changes right here. Once I'm in the pull down menu, I can select, for example, the color of this layer and choose a different color. Let's turn layer 0 magenta. Here we go. And then you can see that that change is reflected immediately, and all of these objects that were drawn in layer 0 are now the new color. Here is where you access the layer properties. So I'll click on that and it comes up with this window. It looks just like the one we saw from the textbook. Here is our layer 0. Here's how we add layers. Let's add some new layers. This layer is going to be the layer for circles. And let's do another new layer for rectangles. Whoops. I'm going to turn my rectangle layer red and my circle layer green. Okay, so you can click in this box right here and set the current layer. I'll set my current layer to circles. And then if you see over here, anything that I draw is going to be on this circle layer. They're green. How come this circle I drew earlier isn't green? Because I never put it on the circle layer. So let's do that right now. I will choose this item and then I will, there's a couple different ways to do this. First of all, I could use the properties palette over here to set its layer, or I could right click on the item, pull up the quick properties window, here it is, and change it right here. Or finally, when you have an item selected, the layers panel of that home tab will reflect the information about that item and not about the default. So for example, this rectangle right here, once we select it, we find out that it's on the layer 0. I would like to change that, so I will use the pull down and put it on the rectangles layer. Once I have deselected that item and I've got nothing selected, the layers panel will show the default, the current layer, which will be whatever you, so whenever you draw something new, it will be put on that current layer. All right, that was a brief introduction to the idea of layers. Now go ahead and try it in your exercises this week. Thanks, everyone.